Now it is time to show the outside world who we are.
Black Panther makes history with a record-breaking President's Day weekend box office.
Okay, this is the message to those who are upset over a movie about a futuristic African nation with a predominantly black cast and in turn deem it racist. You're an idiot. Because if you somehow feel that celebrating a movie's diverse cast in an industry that has been predominantly white since its origin is something that you should be outraged at or protest, you again are an idiot and have been living in a bubble for the entirety of your idiotic existence. Oh shit, sorry, is that offensive? I don't care. Because the fact that this conversation has to be held is ridiculous. As Black Panther soars past records and is on course to become a billion-dollar masterpiece, some people just can't deal with the film's excellence, so their fragility melts into a puddle of salty tears on the floor as they scream, "Why is everything politicized? This is the left at its finest." I bet Soros funded that movie. These are all real comments taken from the Black Panther trailer's YouTube comment section, by the way. So I wanted to take a brief moment away from playing the Black Panther soundtrack on repeat to just address this ridiculousness. This movie has been hyped up more than any previous Marvel movie, and more than most movies have been in recent years. And guess what? Rightfully fucking so. Because here's the reality that you don't want to hear if you're triggered over this movie. If you're white, seeing people who look like you in mass media isn't hard, nor is it probably something you think about often. Every day, wherever you go, the culture reflects you and infinite versions of you. In business, arts, garbage men, police officers, soldiers, you name it, the chances are you will find yourself represented in those categories. And the same goes for in movies, like superheroes, for instance. Batman, Superman, James Bond, Spider-Man. The heroes you grew up idolizing represented you and conveyed the message that your possibilities were boundless. You could see yourself as those heroes or as anyone displayed in mass media, as the world has been conditioned to portray most positive images as white. And that's not to say that there haven't been heroic black or brown figures represented on screen before this movie. There have been, but those figures have appeared far less frequently and almost always in smaller roles. By contrast, those who are not white have considerably more trouble not only finding themselves represented in mass media and other arenas of public life, but also finding representation that depicts the culture's positive attributes and conveys the qualities that make people of colour proud of where they came from. The movie industry is one of the clearest examples of this. From the moment black people were birthed onto the big screen, dating back to the horrific depiction of black people in The Birth of a Nation, which, by the way, was the first movie to ever be shown in the White House, to the representation for the many years that followed when portrayed as inherently flawed or often villainous criminals. By consistently reaffirming negative stereotypes of people of colour, Hollywood ensured that mass media representation were almost always associated with the race's negative and cultural characteristics, and those prejudices were further reinforced and absorbed into society. Now, obviously, as years progressed, things have changed. Yet the excellence in, say, black culture remains vastly underrepresented. Hence why when a movie emerges that not only celebrates black excellence, but the origins of African culture in all its glory, you bet your ass it deserves every billboard, every extra trailer, and every ounce of hype it gets, because it's been a long time coming. And don't come here and tell me that there's no need to address misconceptions around Africa or African culture. I mean, do we need to remind everyone about our president's shithole comment? This movie explores what it means to be black in both America and Africa, and more broadly in the world. Again, another aspect that has been overlooked in countless movies, with most interpretations of Africa coming through a negative lens that only focus on the negative. This movie presents a fictionalized African nation free from colonization, allowed to thrive on its own without being tampered with or controlled by outsiders. And if that makes you uncomfortable, then maybe you need to ask yourself some deeper questions as to why. Because if you view a movie like this as an attack on you, then what exactly do you represent? It is a representation of a progression in our culture that has been a long time coming. A progression everyone should embrace. You don't have to be black to enjoy this movie. It's fucking incredible. I loved it. But of course this is more than a movie to those who embrace and love African American culture. It's a movement. Seeing young black children hovering outside the cinema talking about which superhero they wanted to be brought tears to my eyes. Because guess what? That's the way I felt after watching Batman or whatever superhero I grew up dreaming I could be. And everyone deserves that. So if you view Black Panther's celebration of the beauty of black culture as an attack on you, then again, you need to ask yourself some tough questions and exactly why you feel that this movie's attacking you. And then guess what? Get over it. Because this movie is history in the making, and I am proud to be witnessing history. So go see it. Follow me on Instagram at Francis M. Maxwell, and on Twitter also at Francis M. Maxwell. Like and share the video. Continue to resist.